I am so sick of gold in solo leveling Arise. This thing is the single biggest issue in the game. Now, we are going to talk about it, what you can do, how you can get it, and the harsh reality as it pertains to gold, all right? I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. About 80% of viewers are not subscribed. If that's you, be sure to join the 20 and make sure you subscribe. Also, we have a Discord that we started. Links down below in the description. It's part of my just regular Discord if you've been around for a while, but we started Solo Leveling Rise channel. So we're trying to grow it out for our community for the channel, and I'll be chatting in there with you guys too. So be sure to join. Link is also in the description. All right, so gold. Gold, let me just paint the picture. Gold is used for everything in this freaking game. Whatever you can do, pretty much anything you can do, it requires gold. Say you don't like how he's built, oh, let's reset, that costs gold. And that gold number keeps going up, by the way. If you keep doing this, it starts pretty low. It keeps going up. All right, well, let's infuse levels into the other characters. It costs gold. Okay, well, I like this skill. Let's go to his skill page. If I like a skill and I want to level it up, well, wouldn't you know it? It costs gold and other stuff, right? If I have the same deal for other characters, the same deal. If I have a weapon or an artifact or whatever that I want to level up, it's gold, gold, gold. And then also with artifacts, when you level them up a lot, they start obviously costing more. But the funny thing with artifacts, I think when they go past level 5, they actually cost gold to take off of your... That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm just not going to lie to you. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Look at this, look at this. Look at this right here. Stop lagging, game. Let's just take it off. Watch this. I'm going to hit change artifact. I'm going to give him this one. Look what it says. They made me pay to make my character weaker. Now, obviously, that's not really the goal of that. But I think if it's below level, yeah, it doesn't cost you anything if you don't upgrade it, but you need to level up your artifact sets. It's just, the point is that gold is everywhere, right? And gold actually, like, if you have, like, a character that, like, you just pull, like, Libora here, actually, I need to level her up. Look at this. Gold is kind of crazy, because it spikes, like, this is all of my gold. I can't even push her to level 44, and I'm not even a free player. So, like, you get the point. Gold is everywhere. It's a massive problem. Well, how do we solve this problem? First and foremost, you get gold from pretty much every piece of content. Pretty much every piece of content will drop some gold for you. Now, the problem is that in story mode, whatever, you can't go back and clear these stages again and get any more rewards. So the only other thing you can do is go back and clear those stages for those trophies, but that's about it. They don't drop any more experience or gold, and they both happen to be big issues. Gold is a little bit more widespread than experience, because you'll find gold in random spots like this, just from clearing your daily missions. You'll find it in other spots like challenges. Gold is a little bit easier to put around than, I guess they'll put reputation experience, but they don't put actual experience in most of these spots. You're gonna find gold, right? We come over here to the achievement, I claim this, I'm gonna get an opportunity to get some gold or some gold there. Like, you're gonna find gold in actually a lot of different pockets of the game, but those are not reliable sources. Those are very small amounts, things like that. So what I can recommend to you is, aside from story, you wanna be playing and constantly mining your gates, because as you mine more gates, your level will increase, and as your level increases, you will start getting more and more gold, you'll start getting more of everything, right? And level 11 will get another mining slot. That's good. Looking forward to that. Also, as it pertains to gates, you actually kind of double dip, because with gates, you get experience and gold, the two hardest resources in the entire game. You get a range from 11:16 to 14:18 for the specific stage, so you want to make sure you are clearing these. And then after you clear 10, unfortunately after you clear 10, for better or worse, depending on who you ask, these experience drops are exchanged with gold drops. They're not the biggest gold drops, but again, you can still get a reliable amount of gold from those stages. And then if you have a special gate, it drops more gold, right? So that's good. But one thing I'll say about gates, and I'll do a separate video. In fact, I'll take some feedback. How do you fix, I'm gonna ask you guys, leave a comment. How do you fix some of the problems that this game has? This game is not even out worldwide. There's a lot of hope for stuff like this to even be fixed by then. So how do you fix it? I'm going to do a video on that, so post your comments if you want to be featured. So one thing I'd recommend for gold, to answer my own question, is why the hell is there not just a gate that you run once a day, even once a day, that just drops 50,000 gold? Just once. There should be a gate that spawns like the red gates, the gold gates, that you can get once or twice a day that just drops 25 to 50,000, you know, just give us something as a bare minimum consistently that you can say, hey, I can come here and clear this to get a nice chunk of gold, right? And I'm not even asking for too much. It's not like I said 100,000 or anything like that, but something reasonable, right? So that's one thing I can recommend, is put a damn gate in here for gold. It's the biggest, most straightforward thing ever. This is a game centered around dungeons. Why is there no gold dungeon? I'd also like to mention, before I forget, that these other pieces of content on the side also do drop good amounts of gold, for the record. You can get gold here by beating the achievements 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's good. I'm more reliable. I don't want to say consistent because it's a one-time thing, but a more consistent, did I say the wrong word? I don't know which one I wanted to say. Reliable, excuse me, way to get it, is going to be over here in Battlefield of Trials, because once every 5 stages, you're going to get that gold drop. So right here, you're getting tickets, but on the next stage, it's going to be 65K. And if we go over to 21, any day now, it's going to be 85. So on and so forth. You can get these consistently from there. I don't remember the word, I lost it. You get those reliably. There it is, reliably, damn it. So anyway, same deal. Hunters only, stage 5, stage 6, stage 11. So if you actually are looking for that, this is a good spot to go, you know, to get gold, clear this. And you get a lot of stuff along the way. So that is going to be where you're going to get huge drops of gold. I don't think gold drops in these other locations that much, these dungeons, missions, stuff like that on the left side. But if it does, obviously just go there too. The Battlefield of Time, or Trials, excuse me, is a awesome location to get some gold drops that are pretty big. It's so unbelievably obvious that I'm confused as to why it's not here yet. It will come eventually. Like, if I had to bet, I bet it's coming eventually. But still, eventually isn't now, right? Also, like I said, gold is kind of everywhere. Same with essence stones. They're kind of everywhere. I'm pretty sure... Okay, well, it's not going to show me these in-between levels. I'm pretty sure you can also get it for special commissions, but I don't really care for special commissions all too much. It's just a passive thing you get while playing. I don't really, recommend going out of your way to clear that too much. Maybe you can if you have, like, extra time, but you're just going to passively clear those anyway. Also, you will get gold in challenges. This is semi-consistent because you can see how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, but again, these are not huge drops for gold. Now, aside from that, the only other really consistent location to get gold is, unfortunately, back to artifacts. So let's go back to artifacts. And so with artifacts, you can salvage them. Or sell them. So anyway, as you see, you're going to get a lot of artifacts passively from playing the game. Whether you like them or not, you're going to get them. These rare ones are dropping 1,000 apiece. These ones drop a little bit more, like the ones at 1,100. That's not great either, by the way. That's not great at all. These ones down here, they're dropping 900, though it varies about 100 or 200, okay, whatever. Okay, so if they're upgraded, you get more out of them. But the trade-off is that you put the gold in to upgrade it, right? You can. This one's dropping 600. There's no consistency, though. I don't understand that. The same piece is giving 900 gold. Is it the level? Is that what's determining it? Is it the level? That's dumb. If it's the level, that's dumb. As opposed to the rarity, that's extremely dumb. Okay, well, let's go back to my top then. I guess it is the level that's determining it. That's stupid. Whatever. Anywho, so you can sell all the artifact pieces that you're not going to use. Long story short, if you are scared about selling pieces that you like or that you want to use, you can, just like any other game, come here and lock it. You can do that. It won't get sold, right? So it'll keep it for you, things like that. So I recommend, because like I said, when you complete gates, when you complete content, you are, look at all these, I don't even use 3 courses, more than 3. Look at all this garbage down here. Like, you're going to inevitably get these pieces that you just don't need. I recommend selling everything that's not blue, you know, at least blue. At least. All this silver crap can go. So, like, that's what I recommend. We're going to do it live in the video, actually, because I also need some gold. Give me the option here. Common is what it's called. Okay, yeah, just take all the damn common. 100 pieces. 79k gold. Thank you. I don't even care if some of them are upgraded. You can have them. Screw it. 80k. Did I say 100k gold? 80k gold. Thank you. Anything else here? Okay, oh, one piece. One straggler. Let's go. Okay. Was that just for... Okay, it didn't ask me if it was for Jinu or for the other characters. Okay, perfect. Yeah, cool. Well, actually, artifacts don't have that delineation, but whatever. So, I just got 80k gold. Very easy, very consistent, very straightforward thing to do. Now, inevitably, I also will mention that you do get gold, along with experience, passively from the activity blend. And I'd also like to mention, I don't know why the game's tripping out on me again, I'd also like to mention that if you wanted to get these more consistently and reliably, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention to the players that are interested that for some of these packs, you will get more. It's just straightforward, it's super obvious. It needs to be said though, like if you were to buy this, you get more of those things. It is what it is, and that's what it kind of boils down to. Is this game is designed in a way where it's going to give you roadblocks, and it's going to give you hurdles that you have to overcome, and that's not uncommon at all. That is a common practice in not just like gacha industry, you know, because not all mobile games are gacha games, but like it's common for a live service game to give you issues to where the designation that they want you to do is either wait it out or get frustrated enough with it that you go to the shop and you purchase something. That's what it is. It's frustration marketing. They do things like that. So you get frustrated and you give up and you just buy it really quick. And so like I mentioned, if you were to buy this, you get these good drops. But yeah, you get the good. Oh, that's right. This one is a crazy one. For $5, you get 50k a day with 200 essence. So to me, that's a no-brainer offer. But like that's kind of what they're trying to do. So just word to the wise, right? If you want to do it, go for it. But understand that that's their sole objective, right? Also with that, you also get one of these. And I've gotten like 1,000 soul essence from this. Of course, live in video, I'm going to go see though. But you also can get that. Now, aside from that, I kind of just loosely mentioned how gold is kind of everywhere. But you can also send these events and have the events ongoing, and you can claim gold in some of these milestones. You get gold for some of the rank rewards sometimes. Like you'll get, but these are like small sums, so they're not really the most worthwhile thing. This has a chance to drop a whopping 10,000. My God, such luxury here. Whatever would I do without 10,000? Oh my God, I got a drop of 5,000 gold. I'm not gonna hate on this though. Oh, 1,000, my goodness, we were just swimming in cash. I'm not gonna hate on it though, because it's just such a passive thing that I didn't really have to work too hard for it. It's just kind of funny, right? So, at the end of the day, the main and most consistent way to get gold currently in Solo Leveling Rise is from selling artifacts. And so, I absolutely recommend that since gold is such a hot commodity, you need it for damn near everything. You need gold. You know what it is? It's not that you need gold for everything in the game. It's that you need gold to play the game. Like, that's what you need gold to even play the damn game. So, since it's so hot commodity, I just absolutely recommend everybody that's not really willing to spend any money to decide what you want to spend your gold on wisely. Pick and choose wisely. For hunters, do not go wide with your roster. Go pretty tall. Now, I know that's kind of counterproductive or contradictory to some of the other things I mentioned in other videos where I say, hey, if you have light hunters, use them for the events, things like that. But I bring these up as options for you because I want to cover the most real, the best possible way, but it's up to you, the individual, to decide what's the most realistic for your circumstance. Do you have the gold to invest in a character that you may or may not be using long term? Do you have just to get the advantage of the element? You have that for the weapon. You have the luxury of doing those things. It's up to you to use your judgment to decide if you want to do that. But what I can recommend for characters, if you have a handful of SSRs like I do, okay, fine. But if you only got like a couple, I'd probably stick to them the most. Like just invest in them the most. Invest very minimally if you can get by with pretty much everyone else. Unless there's an SR hunter you really like, or I forgot to keep it down. I actually can do this now. In the previous video, I think I brought this up. I don't know if that was this video or the one I recorded right before. I can finally do that. Yes. You know, hunters, weapons, all that stuff. Like, do you have it? You can invest in it. Invest in characters or weapons you like, sure, because obviously at the end of the day, the most important thing is your own enjoyment with this game. But what I can recommend is find something that works for you. And, you know, that's kind of the ending point that I have here. So ultimately, let's use some gold that I just got on some stuff that I like. So that's what I recommend. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, you're going to definitely enjoy the other videos on the screen currently. I'll see you over there. Dodge it. If you can.
Salut les gars, c'est Eldril, aujourd'hui une nouvelle vidéo sur Solo Leveling Arise. Aujourd'hui on va parler un petit peu de comment bien commencer le jeu et surtout on va l'orienter cette vidéo de façon à parler des erreurs à ne pas commettre puisque en effet en ne
I am so sick. Despite the fact that I'm enjoying my time playing Solo Leveling Rise, I'd be lying if I said that the game was always easy, there was never any hiccups, it was always super easy to progress. That's not exactly true, because at the end of the day, they don't want you to clear most of this stuff super quickly, particularly if you're not going to spend any money. So we're going to talk about experience today in this video, and then another video is going to come out probably tomorrow or the day after, where we talk about gold, which is another crazy roadblock. Anyways, we're going to talk about experience and what happens if you get stuck with certain things, and how you can progress, not just experience, like artifacts, things like that. So I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. About 80% of viewers are not currently subscribed, and if that's you, you know what you're doing, and you know what you're not doing. Be sure to hit that button, please. All right, so like goal for today, 400. All right, so let's hop in. So the first thing you're going to do when you play the game is you're going to clear the story. Very, very easy, very straightforward, right? But what's going to happen is when you get somewhere around chapter 6, you're going to hit the roadblock of saying, hey, make sure you're at this level to play the stage. It's not a recommendation, it's a mandatory thing. You got to get Sung Jin to a certain level, I think it's like 21 or whatever, in order to even play the stage. No matter what you have, no matter what you do, if you don't meet that benchmark, you cannot play that stage. This is going to keep happening repeatedly throughout pretty much all of the chapters after that, where it just raises the bar. Reach level 34, reach level 40, whatever it is, it's going to keep doing it, okay? And that is designed to keep you in a position where you have to play the game more and or be patient, right? So you have multiple options, right? So when you start hitting that, the first thing I'll recommend doing is going back through the story chapters and finding the ones you haven't done. Look at Ricardo, my guy. Well, not part of the 80%. He's part of the 20 right there. The first thing I recommend doing is finding the story content you haven't done and coming here, because story is the easiest and most consistent way to get experience in this game, right? So there are some gates which we'll talk about that drop like twice as much as this. That's not crazy or unheard of, but the limitations with gates are a little bit different too. Like you can only run so many at a time or so many in a 24-hour period because of the keys they give you. Unless you buy keys, right? Which I don't recommend. But anyway, find story chapters that you have not completed. If you hit some sort of roadblock, hit these side chapters. That's the first thing I'll mention. Around chapter 6 or so, you will also unlock the hard mode and rinse and repeat. Hard mode drops better experience from my recollection. Yeah, 3,000 right here. Yeah, clear hard mode. So my recommendation is if you have hard mode done, you can do hard mode first and then go back to the regular story, side stories from the regular difficulty, normal difficulty that we just looked at a second ago. Clear hard mode first. So yeah, hard mode 3K experience is pretty great. So if you have any sort of problems, that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to hit up the content that you haven't done and then rinse and repeat. That's the gameplay loop for this game. At a point, and this is kind of already happening for me, and it will happen to you once you unlock hard mode. The loop is play normal, bounce to hard mode. Play normal, bounce to hard mode. That's the loop, right? Aside from the fact, excuse me, that there's content on the sides that you haven't done, because I believe hard mode also does that little benchmark thing. I'm not seeing it from my current chapter, but I believe hard mode may also do that too. So next up, let's talk about gates. Gates are super duper important in this game. Excuse me, my voice crack. In this game, you probably also know that by now, obviously. But if you're new to the game, then hey, maybe you don't know the importance of gates. You should always have mining ongoing. If you ever finish, you want to start some new ones. You want to do that repeatedly so you can increase your level. As you increase your level, you get bonuses. You see mining time down, extra gold, additional rewards rate up as well, because the rewards that you see on the stages are not guaranteed. You have a chance to get some of that stuff. And also running the gates here, you have X number of gates you can run a day, basically, again, unless you do this, which I do not recommend. But you want to run the gates because the gates themselves have experience and gold drops, right? Also some reputation, you want all of this stuff. And then again, aside from that, you have a chance to get some awesome stuff here. You get artifacts, you get the shades thing right here, trace of shadow, excuse me, and then other stuff that you were going to need in different parts of the game. But above all else, also what happens is when you complete 10 gates a day, you get all 3 of these experience drops. And these are hefty drops. I'm not sure if yours will look different than mine due to increased reputation or anything like that, or the pack that I purchased. I'm not sure if that will change the way that this looks in this window. I do know that an extra drop happens for me, like an extra small drop. So it is what it is, but that's what you want to do, right? So keep that in mind. Next up, you don't necessarily have to do anything I've told you so far. I recommend it. You don't necessarily have to do those things, though. If you're okay with slow progression, you can come here and just kind of log in and then log back out and just collect this repeatedly. Your progress would be incredibly slow, but you can do that and get passive experience points here. Quick note, as you level up, this all gets better. The drops are better, everything's better. So as you level up more, this gets better. So yeah. Anyway, you can claim this within a 24-hour window. And again, if you buy the pack for this, not telling you need to do that, just dropping it as a recommendation for somebody that wants to, that will help you tremendously as well. So anyway, this is here like an idle thing. It'll drop all these for you, gold, experience, and a random item. I'm not sure what that is, but I guess it just depends what your tier is. I drop some other stuff. I don't really pay much attention to it. Anyway. So this is another thing. So you don't necessarily have to log in and do all the story stuff. I recommend it. But if you're okay with taking super slow progression and you just need a game like idly on the background that you could play every now and again as like a third option game or something, then this function, is ripped straight out of an AFK game and it's going to work the same way for you. So unfortunately, though, you're not going to get experience from pretty much anywhere else. All these other modes don't drop experience. So unfortunately, that's kind of how it looks. So forgive me if I forget anything. If I forget anything, please let me know in the comments. But anyway, so what I have next for you guys is the opposite end of it, where you have a certain level that you need and you're just getting stuck because you can't clear the content. The first thing I want to say is it's going to sound kind of like, dickish, right? But like, at a point, it is a skill issue. Okay, at a point, it is a skill issue. Learn the boss you're fighting. If you're fighting Egris and you're stuck on him, learn why you're stuck on him. What's he doing that's making your life difficult? What are the cues that you can learn from? Play it 10 times if you need to, right? At a point, that does matter. I can't just tell you that doesn't matter because this game is a game that is going to matter. And it's not like like something that's like automatically on, whatever the case is. That does matter, okay? Next up, if you're playing a stage and you're stuck on them, again, aside from learning from your experience, you can also improve your chances of being able to be successful. You can use recommended attributes, whether that's weapons or characters. I don't know that I necessarily recommend building up too many weapons and characters because obviously gold is incredibly hard to get, right? I don't know that I recommend that. You can do that though, or maybe you have a weapon that's like an SSR or something, or a hero that's an SSR that you haven't built up. I would recommend doing those, But like building up somebody like Kim Chul here, I don't really know that I would recommend that. Although I like him a lot. I like him a lot actually as a character. So anyway, that's something you can also do. You can learn from if the boss is breakable. Why does this matter? Because when you break the boss, you do a crap ton more damage. So you want to break the boss as much as possible. With Egris, you want to break this bad boy over and over and over and over. And so if the boss can be broken, you want to go to your Sung Jinu and you want to put break skills on your Sung Jinu. You want to do that. You want to do skills that have break tied into them, right? So this is something that's, I don't know where. Okay, so there it is. Crushing blow here. Break skill. Perfect. Give him 2 break skills. Just keep breaking the boss. Just do it over and over, right? And here's another thing. If you have a rune that can be tied into these, that is elemental, like the element you need, like a light one. Like if I had this one, I would equip this rune on this stage, on this skill, and it would do extra damage too because it would do the light element damage. So this is like a way to double dip, right? So you want to make sure that if you have it, you are using it. Now everyone's not going to have all this stuff. Rune system is kind of random, right? So that is what it is. Next up, if you haven't already, level up your ultimate skills. Level up your QTEs. These are the most important things to level up in my opinion because these skills are going to shift a lot between which ones you like, which ones you have access to good runes on, like things like that's going to vary a lot. But these aren't going anywhere at the bottom. Level these up, right? especially the QTEs. Those really don't go anywhere, right? But level up your skills if you're stuck with something. Next up, artifacts. Focus on artifacts. Artifacts are kind of annoying, but if you find a set that you like, put it on, right? So for this stage, since my focus has been on breaking, I would put on solid analysis, and we're going to just do so much more damage. We're going to break the hell out of this guy. We're going to have an easy time on a stage like this because he can be broken. Not all bosses can be broken, but that is something you would want to consider. Next thing you would want to consider is your support characters. Do they have break on their support skill? I always click the wrong one the first time. Do they have break on their support skill? Vic, does have break on his support skill, right? This guy does have break on his support skill. You want to focus on the things that they're telling you to focus on. I know that's extremely like surface level straightforward, but you'd be surprised how many people that's going over their head for. And there are going to be people I'm telling this advice to that are going to still struggle with it, and that just means that we circle back to if you've done all the enhancements, you level up your artifacts, put a good set on, level it up to a point. I wouldn't put too much investment in like in like blue or purple, artifacts, but like don't ignore all these other ones. I just auto click these. But like if you have a gold set that you like, maybe you do it on that, right? But like, have you leveled up your artifacts? Have you put on characters and weapons if you have them that are advantageous? If the boss can be broken, are you doing break skills, putting in break support characters? You don't need to have break support characters that also have type advantage. You just need to break the damn boss, right? If you're doing all of those things, right? And then that means that if you're at a good enough level, you can obviously wait, come back later when you level up some more. But if you're doing all those things, then it just also boils down to you need to learn how to play versus that boss. And it's really that simple. So if you get stuck with the game, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to play the chapters in hard mode when you unlock this. If you have it unlocked hard mode, then the first thing you're going to do is play these side chapters to get free experience. All the while, you are going to be playing gates. You're going to claim your activity funds, right? But then when you unlock hard mode for sure, you're going to start clearing hard mode. Screw the rest of the regular chapters. When you unlock hard mode, come straight to hard mode, do as much of it as you can, right? And so that is the gameplay loop. You're going to clear gates, you're going to claim the activity fund, you're going to play hard mode, you're going to play side chapters, that's how you level up. And then if you are at the adequate level, but you're struggling, then you need to work on your team. You need to work on your hunters, whether they're support or the main. You need to work on your weapons. I didn't bring up leveling up weapons, but you need to do that as well. If you have dupes in them, maybe you can advance them, things like that. You need to work on your artifact set. You can level up your skills. You can level up the support skill for your support hunters. You can do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it also, again, boils down to quote-unquote skill issues, right? So one thing that's going to pop up a ton, Kevin, part of the 20, my guy! One thing that's going to pop up a ton is that inevitably, we are going to have to just deal with this thing. This thing is a problem. This thing is a major issue. And so, like I said, drop some other stuff. I don't really pay much attention to it. Anyway, so this is another thing. So one thing that's going to really determine how far you can progress in solo leveling Arise as you guys are playing this game is your artifacts. Artifacts are one of the most important resources in the entire game, and they are just vital to progression as it gets harder and harder in some of the stages you're going to take on. So for today's video, we're going to talk about the importance of the artifacts. I'm going to recommend some artifact sets for you guys to work on as well when you get them, and also we're going to talk about a little sneaky trick you can do with artifact sets as it pertains to getting more gold, because these things are pretty gold intensive. If you're new here, my name is Free. We do solo leveling Arise content here on the channel. Be sure to subscribe as well. About 85% of you guys that are new to the channel are not subscribing, so be sure to subscribe for more content like this if you enjoy solo leveling Arise. So the first thing I want to kind of mention is, like I said, the importance of artifacts. Artifacts are something that you can equip on not just something new, you can put these on any character, so keep that in mind. As you are working on your characters, improving your characters, trying to take on harder pieces of content, you will need the artifacts. Now, the thing about artifacts that's so important is, for one, you get the standard, like if you played any other game ever that has a system like this, you get the standard set effect stuff. So for 2 pieces of the same set, you get that, and then for 4 pieces, you get the extra bonus as well. So, you're getting crit rate, crit damage with a specific set. So like I'll talk about why I do this set in a minute, but obviously it can be much better. And then the expert is going to be these 2, and then you unlock these 2 by clearing a certain chapter, I'm not sure, and then I'll unlock these next 2 when I clear chapter 12. And when you get those last 2, so the full 4 on the right side, that's when things really take off, right? But there are also extra set bonuses for the right side pieces as well. And what winds up happening is you're getting a ton of additional stats, yes, but then these also have their own effects bonus. So second set bonus, look at this. Attack up, right? Another 6% to attack. Hit rate bonus, so another 328%, or 320, excuse me, that there. Another 3% HP, some damage reduction, and obviously you can take these artifacts and you can upgrade them, and everything pertaining to them, just kind of gets better, right? So this one here, it gives you additional defense, it gives attack, additional HP, MP, things like that. So ultimately, when you start looking at it, we can pull up the artifact set here. When you start looking at some of the higher rarity and stronger artifact pieces, the stat gain is going to be pretty massive on these. In fact, I don't have it right there. Let me actually go back to my hunters. I've been mostly just kind of automatically equipping them. I haven't really gone through and thought about it all too much. But look at this. We're getting some extra stuff here. So additional defense. This one isn't even upgraded, by the way. Well, we can open this upgraded one. Defense penetration at 1230, things like that. So they also have a score on them. I think they're supposed to be 1 through 100 here for the equipment page. That'll tell you how strong it is. Now, the problem with this system is the same as it is in any other game. If you know this system, you get the point already. The problem with this system is that these are randomized rolls. And the way I see it currently is that you can't actually go in and say, I want to take this MP consumption rate off for whatever reason. In other games, you can maybe re-roll that slot specifically. In this game, there's not a system for that yet. This game needs a number of quality of life changes already. Which is funny considering the game's releasing in 2024. You would think they would know these things. But nonetheless, that's one of the things that I haven't seen already be a part of the game. So unfortunately, that's one thing that we're waiting for. But that basically means that it could be a chore to try to upgrade these, right? So keep that in mind. Now, another thing about artifacts is as you farm these, you're going to inevitably get a ton of extra ones that maybe don't fit any sets that you like or not very strong or whatever. And so what you can do is you can come here and you can just sell these off. Now, unfortunately, if you try to sell them, it's not the craziest amount of resources. I think maybe if it's leveled up to some degree, maybe the number goes up. In fact, I can test that now. Let's do it. This is at 1,000. But this requires gold to level these up, and I'll talk about upgrading these in a minute. I'm going to talk about which one you should be working on. This is actually live. Okay, so it did give me more stacks. I think that's more into it, so it's not really worth it. What I would recommend is just selling them by default. You get 1,000 gold that way, and that's one of the more consistent ways to get gold. Because speaking of quality of life, this game, I don't know how they launch this game. Well, it's not officially out everywhere yet. So maybe it'll be out, when the game officially launches everywhere. But right now, I'm not sure how this game doesn't already have a dungeon specifically for gold. Because even if it's just once a day, 100k, something like that, I just don't know how this game with the gold importance it has doesn't have that already. But that's the most important way to get gold. I'm pretty sure that number goes up as you hit some higher rare pieces as well. Let's see. or not. So anyway, just sell the artifacts if you don't need them. So moving on from there, I talked about the importance, and if it wasn't clear, the importance is because the stat team, right? The stat gain is massive, and also the effects is massive, right? The characters start getting more criticals, or a bunch of other things. They do a litany of things. Like this one right here, I really like it. When tagging out, increases the attack of you and your team members by 12% for 10 seconds. And if you have a 4 set of this, increases the attack increase effect goes to 28 from 12. So this is a crazy set in my opinion. So like I'm gonna talk about recommending some sets, but like, and obviously you have to clear chapter 12 to get to the point where you can put 4 of these sets on, 4 of these pieces, like the necklace, the earrings, or the bracelet, or whatever that is. You have to get to chapter 12 to do this, but that's gonna be insane. Particularly if you put like 3 of these on your team. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna be able to constantly just stack this bonus on everybody for the duration of time and stuff. So that's gonna be really, really strong. It's also gonna be really strong in conjunction with a hunter that has an attack boost for ally, or things like that, like Libora, or like defense debuffs, like Making Hall. Like these characters are gonna be really, really strong with that as well as passive set. And that's just one of the many artifact sets in the game. So let's go ahead from here and break down some of the other things. As I'm sitting here thinking about which ones I want to recommend to you guys, I'm realizing just how much variance there is with this. There's just so much possibility. For example, on paper, this one sounds kind of whatever, but it actually winds up being really, really strong. So it says increases skill MP consumption rate by 20%, but makes it cost 20% more MP if you use your skills. However, and I'm going to factor in 4 key sets, it increases the damage dealt by 18% and decreases the skill cooldown reduction of basic skills to 18%. So the basic skills are the skill 1 and skill 2, just, the non-ultimate but non-regular attack skills, just the other stuff. So what happens here ultimately is it costs more to use them, but the cooldown to use them consistently goes way down and you get more damage. So like this in particular, in conjunction with an artifact set that increases your MP or even reduces your MP consumption, or an effect on some of these artifacts themselves that increases your MP, reduces your MP cost, things like that, could be super good. And that's what I mean by just a lot of variance. Now to totally min-max, if you were to use this in 4s, I would recommend trying to get all these individual pieces, primarily with attack stats on them, because that's just going to lead to the most damage. Attack is the single most important stat in the entire game. But my point is that there's a ton of customization with these, because you have the opportunity to run multiple sets. Maybe you run 2 of this, 2 of that, 2 of this, 2 of that, right? Because you've got 8 slots, right? Also, maybe you run 4 of this, and then 2 of this, and then 2 of the other piece. And then depending on which effects are on them, maybe that opens up a whole other avenue for you. So I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm writing down which one I like, and I'm hitting this roadblock like, oh. So I guess the key takeaway I want to just give you guys right now is that there is no definitive best set. And you may have noticed this when I talked about in other videos, which